Hello friends, did you know that also transport occurs in plants? My name is Namtenga Flores, a senior 2 student from Holy Cross Lakeview. I'm here to share with you about transport in plants. During the study of this chapter, you'll know how substances enter and move out of cells and the processes that take place in plants. Transport is the movement of materials from one part of an organism to another. For a good transport system, the following are required. Energy, which is used to move materials against a concentration gradient. Secondly, materials to be transported. These are 1. Respiratory gases like oxygen and carbon dioxide. Nutrients like starch, excretory materials, e.g. excess water and carbon dioxide, enzymes, and plant hormones. Channels of transport are also needed, and these channels are xylem and phloem. They are also referred to as vascular bundles in plants. The medium of transport is also required, and this medium is water. You will also discover that substances like nutrients and excretions move in and out of cells by diffusion, osmosis, active transport, translocation, pinocytosis, and phagocytosis. The following are the brief explanations of the processes. Phagocytosis is when a cell takes up solid materials in solid form. It is also referred to as cell eating. Pinocytosis is a process by which cells take up liquid materials in liquid form. It is also referred to as cell drinking. While diffusion is a movement of molecules from a region of high concentration to a region of low concentration. Osmosis is the movement of solvent materials from a region of low concentration to a region of high concentration across a semi-permeable membrane. A semi-permeable membrane is one which allows the passage of some materials to occur and prevent other materials from passing across it. Active transport is a movement of molecules and ions from a region of low concentration to a region of high concentration against a concentration gradient. This process requires energy, which is by respiration and involves carrier proteins, also called molecules. Then lastly, translocation is a transport of soluble inorganic products of photosynthesis within the plant. This process occurs in the phloem of the vascular system, which runs from the roots to the leaves. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Wanyange, a senior 2 student at Holy Cross Lakeview, and I'm here to discuss about diffusion, one of the subtopics of transport in plants. Diffusion refers to the movement of molecules of a substance from their area of high concentration to their area of low concentration. Members, diffusion continues to occur until the dynamic equilibrium is reached. At dynamic equilibrium, this is when the concentration gradient, which is the independent variable of diffusion, is 0. At dynamic equilibrium, molecules of the substance or the diffusing molecules will still move around, but not in a particular direction as it was before the concentration gradient was 0. Members, we need to realize the fact that diffusion is so important in the growth of plants, and here are some of the importances of diffusion. First importance is mineral salts are absorbed by plants from soil through root hair cells by diffusion. We understand, as we said, diffusion refers to the movement of molecules of a substance from their area of high concentration. So here, the mineral salts are concentrated, or their high concentration is in the soil where they are absorbed, the plant where there is low concentration. The other second importance of diffusion is diffusion helps in the removal of oxygen from the leaves where it is manufactured as a product of photosynthesis. We'll understand one of the products of photosynthesis is oxygen diffuses from the leaves from where it is manufactured to the atmosphere where there is low concentration because it is too much concentrated in the leaves. So it has to move out of the leaves where it is too much concentrated. The atmosphere where its concentration is low. The other third importance of diffusion is diffusion helps in the removal of diffusion of carbon dioxide into the cells of the leaf where it is used in photosynthesis. We understand one of the importances of one of the raw materials of photosynthesis is carbon dioxide. So in the atmosphere, its concentration is high, and in the leaves where it is needed, its concentration may be low compared to its concentration in the atmosphere. Those are some of the importances of diffusion in plants. Members, diffusion is also affected by a number of factors, and one of the factors being the size of the diffusing molecules. Smaller sized molecules tend to diffuse faster compared to larger molecules. We understand diffusion occurs through pores of the membrane. So when the diffusing molecules are big, yes, they will diffuse, but at a low rate, making it one of the factors that affect the rate of diffusion. The other factor that can affect the rate of diffusion is the nature of the diffusing molecules. Members, fat-soluble molecules tend to diffuse more rapidly through the cell membrane than water-soluble molecules. Third factor that can affect the rate of diffusion, the surface area. Larger surface area increases the rate of diffusion, and small surface area increases the rate of diffusion. How? This is how it when the surface area through which diffusion is occurring is big, means diffusion will be at a high rate because molecules will be diffusing in different areas, not fixed. When the surface area is small, it means all the molecules have to converge that surface area which is small for them to diffuse. But when the surface area is big, it means they will be separated in two different areas to diffuse. The other factor that affects the rate of diffusion is the nature of the structure across which diffusion occurs. Members, diffusion frequently takes place across cell membranes, meaning things. The greater the number and size of pores in the cell membrane, the greater the rate of diffusion. As explained earlier, I said diffusion occurs because the pores mean these small holes in the membrane. So these small holes enable diffusion to take place. So if the number of these small holes or pores is small, it means the rate of diffusion will be low because, as I said, the number of the diffusing molecules will be high compared to the number of pores or the small holes. So when the small holes are more or equal to the number of the diffusing molecules, means the diffusion will be easy or it will take place easy. And the other factor that can affect the rate of diffusion is the thickness of the substance or the membrane through which diffusion occurs. So when the membrane is too thick, diffusion, of course, we understand for the molecules to move from this side up to this side, a substance which is more thick or compared to the diffusing molecules means the rate would be reduced compared to the other membrane or substance which is thin. The other main factor that affects the diffusion rate is the concentration gradient. Members, concentration gradient, this will mean the difference in the concentration of molecules between the two sides of the diffusing membrane. So when the concentration gradient is high, it means the diffusing rate or diffusion rate will be also high. And the lower the concentration gradient, the lower the diffusing rate. You understand? The other last factor that can affect the rate of diffusion is temperature. So here you can say that temperature is directly proportional to the rate of diffusion. Why? The higher the temperature, the higher the rate of diffusion. Because you all understand temperature will increase the kinetic energy of these diffusing molecules and they will tend to move faster across the membrane through which they are diffusing. Those are some of the factors that affect the rate of diffusion. Members, we need to understand some of the live examples of diffusion. In gases, molecules of a perfume spread from another corner. Or let me give an example of any gas spread at the corner of the laboratory. Someone who is entering, who is at the door of the laboratory, will be able to smell that gas or the perfume because the molecules of the perfume will be able to move from the other corner where they are highly concentrated to the door where their concentration is low. Then in liquids, we can say that tea leaves diffuse in hot water and change the color of water. You understand, when the tea leaves are put in water, they will gather in one place and the concentration in that place will be high. So they have to move the area where they are low, where their concentration is low. And in solids, we can say that curry powder, when it is placed along or cooked along with cassava or any food, it diffuses throughout and changes the color of the cassava. You understand, this curry powder, when it is put in food, of course it will have to diffuse other areas, the saucepan or the pan where it is being cooked from, and to where their concentration is low, will attach on that food that is being cooked and it change the color. I would like to rest my case.